as I want. As much as I want. Should only have possibly 3, Jody.
Okay.
Ashley Hakens, Vicky, and the Witherells are the only ones that.
Witherell are already on.
Yep.
From snow and ice. Protects the bumper, and no-drill mudflaps guard the exterior. goal for any type of direct.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salonpas patch reported reductions in pain severity using less or
Three.
Call the meeting to order. We'll do the pledge.
With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can you check, can everyone hear us?
I can't see anybody, so
Can they hear?
hold on. Vicky, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm gonna put you back on mute.
Okay.
Okay. Heads or tails?
Heads.
Heads?
As
Heads, okay. You go to my office and sit. Shut the doors. Money.
yeah, buddy.
Welcome.
I'm
What do you
Louis.
call it? Louis, Lou,
Yeah, either.
Mr. Mean?
No.
So, well, this is our current board. This is Gilbert Soche, Debbie Rust,
Hi.
Kelly Colano. Dick Powers is the town clerk, and of course, you know me, Sue Wood. Jody's here to run our Zoom,
Hi.
and it's his position that's being filled.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna start out by asking you some questions. Really short ones. Why are you interested in serving on the town board?
Oh, I just feel like I've been a member of a resident of Hopkinton for a long time and feel like I want to give back something. I have a lot of skills and been, doing a lot of decision making in my work, and I feel like I could help out with the town and what they're doing. I'm interested in it also, the town.
So where and how do you think you would be able to make the greatest contribution to the board?
Well, I'm a land surveyor, and so I know a lot about taxes, or, just not from a standpoint of a tax collector, but just in general, and land use type things. If they were going to do any land use planning or something, I could certainly work on that. And then just in general, just decision making for whatever comes up, I guess.
Okay. Have you ever attended any of the board meetings?
I have not.
No? Okay. What are your expectations for serving on the board?
Well, expect, meetings, background readings, debating at the board meetings and coming to consensus. I'm sure there's going to be some grief too from people, from residents and family, I guess.
Okay, so now I have a situation question for you. How would you handle the difficult situation where two sides are adamant on what they believe? Your friends may be pressuring you. How would you vote?
Well, I look at the problems addressed and make a rational decision and try to get people to understand my position. I'd make my decision based on what was good for the town in the long term, and try to make my family or friends agree to what I did. So it's always a difficult thing to do, and sometimes they don't, but you have to kind of live with it either way.
Mhm. So that's all the questions I have. Do you have questions for the board?
This is just an interim appointment till elections in the fall. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And is it once a month? I understand once the board meetings once a month, or
The actual board meeting is once a month, yes.
okay.
It's on usually the third Monday of the month.
And do they have any important decisions coming up right now, or? is it-
All decisions are important. Right now, I think we're pretty much on an even keel. I mean, it would be nice if we could start finding some grants for money and that kind of stuff, but other than that, I think we're over the budget process for the year. no major projects are coming up that we're aware of.
Okay, I was just curious. I'm not aware of what's going on all the time, so
Mhm.
thought I'd ask.
Now, each board member is assigned to committees. The one that's available that Jody had was, and he was in charge of the museum and the town facilities. So that's what this position would be. So, you'd be in touch with the museum to see what they need, what they're, so you could give a report at the meetings.
Sure. Yeah, and I do have a lot of facilities management background, I guess. Maybe not big items, but
I mean, we don't expect you to do the actual work, but
I have,
if the furnace goes out,
right.
You'd be my first call.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you have raccoons in the museum.
Have a lot of experience with raccoons.
Technically, I never found a raccoon.
So,
Better not, but
any other questions or,
No, I guess not at this point.
okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna interview each person and then later in the meeting tonight, we'll discuss it. And I'm not sure if we'll make a decision tonight or at the next meeting, but we'll be in touch with you either way.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. John Cole.
yeah.
I said that to my friend in Mexico. I said, stay warm.
Say hello to Sandy. Rick? Oh, so there you are. Okay, you didn't know the opposite.
Did he go to work?
No, he's sitting on that.
He didn't leave me any money? Tell my mother to make me that apple pie.
What?
Oh, my mother's gonna make me an apple pie.
No.
Yeah,
That's too many neat apple pies.
well, you can give it to me then. So, I'm assuming you know everyone on the board, so I won't have to go through all that, but, so we'll go right to the questions. Why are you interested in serving on the town board?
Something I've been thinking about doing for a while. This is I could consider an 8-month trial period to see if it's something I want to do and run in November.
Okay. Where and how do you think you would be able to make the greatest contribution to the board?
Where and how? Probably your number one expense would be your highway department, would be to overview that and to look at ways we can make that more efficient.
I have to write notes, Rick, or I forget what. Have you ever attended any board meetings?
Yes.
What are your expectations by serving on the board or for serving on the board? What do you expect from the board and the?
Really don't expect anything from the town board. I'm more or less here to learn and to help where I can. And
Okay, this one's a situation problem. How would you handle a difficult situation where two sides are adamant on what they believe? Friends are pressuring you. How would you vote?
situation. Repeat the question one more time, please. Sorry.
Difficult situation where two sides are adamant that they're both right, that they both believe in. Friends are pressuring you to, vote their way. How would you vote?
Would have to be with the majority.
Okay.
Would have to be what's best for the town. That's really what it comes down to, what's best for the town.
So is that, it's not with the majority, it's what's best for the town?
It's best for the town, the people of the town. It's a lot of views to look at certain situations, and it's hard on a hypothetical question and how to answer that.
Okay, that's all the questions that we have. Do you have questions for us?
Not at this time, no. Nothing I could think off the top of my head. Let me ask you this, what are you expecting out of me or out of the town board member?
As supervisor, I would expect the person to be here at the monthly meetings. I would expect the person to come into the office and check in with Dick and I, when available. Each board member is assigned to a committee. This committee would be what Jody was doing, and that's the museum and facilities. So you have to be, if something goes wrong, you'd be on the contact list and find out what's going on. Like Jody was contacted for the museum because there was raccoons in there. He spent one night sitting there waiting for the raccoons.
It didn't show up.
You know, if the furnace, like if the red light comes on in the town hall saying that the heat's out, you would be contacted and call Cornerstone or whatever, or come down to see if you could get it, whatever. So that I would, and I would expect that, you know, just that you're available and read emails, respond. That's mine. I don't know if the board has a different view, but that's what I would look for. So, and someone that looks at the budget and, you know, is aware of where we can spend and where we can't. Any additions from anyone? Did I cover it all okay? Anything else?
No, that's,
Okay.
I-
So,
I'm sure I'll have more questions after I walk out, let's say.
yeah, my email. So we'll be discussing it later.
Okay.
Might not appoint anyone tonight. We might want to take time to review and I'll get back to you either way. But if we appoint, it would be starting for the March meeting.
Okay.
Okay? Awesome.
All right.
Okay, thank
Thank
you for coming. Okay. Privilege of the floor.
I'm good.
Oh, is he a smart aleck? No, he's not.
Yeah.
Does any of them have anything?
Did anybody submit? any?
Nobody submitted anything. And then you have some.
Yeah, you
I don't, those specifically say that anymore.
Right. Does anyone want to say anything right now?
Well, I'd have to take them off mute. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll mute everybody for a second. Give it 1 second. Vicky, did you have anything?
Nope, I don't have any comments at this time.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to Vicky first. Okay, we'll move on then. Approval of the minutes of January 11th, 2021.
A few corrections.
Oh, you. I found a couple.
Okay,
Hold on 1
so you
second.
know where they are, right?
Hold on 1 second. Lori, do you have anything?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, good.
All right, what are the changes?
Where did you find that?
Well, on the second page of the regular meeting, you repeated the word "the" in the supervisor's report. That needs to be changed, and there was another one too, and I,
It was a real big emergency plan.
yeah,
I had to correct one though.
Yeah.
and there was something else, and I didn't mark it. And on the
Appointments.
no, it wasn't that. It was that resolution that we did on where the date was still February 2018 and it needed to be changed to a different date. Those things, they need to be updated.
Oh, no, just
Yeah, I brought it up to you last month, but it needs to be changed so that it's correct for next year. And of course, I can't find it.
You mean where it says date and time of council meetings?
No,
Oh, okay.
that's something else that's
Oh,
in
okay.
the packet, that. Anyway, I'll bring it up and I'll show it to you.
okay.
But I make a motion that we approve the minutes with the corrections.
Second, Kelly seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the financial report for January 2021. Motion,
I'll make the motion.
Kelly made the motion, second.
Second.
Gilbert seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Audit of bills, vouchers number 24 to 53 in the general account for $10,096.13.
It's gonna be just a little less. What's the, not literally, it was a 9 cent error in one of the entries. It had 19 cents, and should have been 10 cents, so it's 9 cents less.
Minus 9 cents. So the, okay, 5. That's 6. I don't know what it is, 4 cents. Vouchers number 8 to 15 in the highway account, $15,647.81. Vouchers number 4 in the BHLS account for $425. A motion to accept the audit of bills.
I make a motion that we accept the audit of
Debbie
bills.
makes the motion, second. Gilbert seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Budget report today. Okay, correspondence from Rick Perkins. Okay, the February 1st full board meeting. William Sheridan was elected as the chairman, Larry Denisha as the vice chairman. 16 resolutions, 6 modifications to the budget, 2 agreements, contracts to be signed, a resolution authorizing the filling of 8 vacancies, resolution authorizing the purchase of body cameras for the sheriff's department, a resolution accepting a donation from the Seaway Valley Prevention Council for the Community Services Chemical Dependency Clinics, resolution authorizing real property tax law corrections of errors, a resolution calling upon the state to provide relief to individual investors of rental properties impacted by reduced rent collections due to the COVID-19 pandemic eviction restrictions and the eviction moratorium, a resolution establishing the standard workday for New York State retirement system reporting purposes. They had numerous high school students, teachers, coaches, and parents speaking to urge schools to allow sports to resume. They expressed their concerns very professionally and explained the many issues surrounded by not allowing sports. He also believes they need to urge schools to allow sports within the required guidelines. And a welcome to Jody Wenzel. I just added that. CHIPS funding, I sent out a copy of the email we got that CHIPS funding is now going to only be reduced by 5% instead of for 20%. So that is good. So once we get the final number as to what we'll get, we'll have to do a amendment to the budget. And Steve Green, Highway Superintendent, is retiring as of March 14th, 2021. He'd like to thank the board for our support over the past years. He's never asked for anything that we didn't give him. Because of that, he thinks he's leaving us with a much better place than he started. Good luck with the challenges you face in the future. There's that. Okay, any questions on any of that? Okay, the old business, the audit of books are up here. I will make sure that they sign them. Okay, board vacancy. We had 3 candidates, 1 dropped out. We interviewed both Rick and Louis tonight. So open for discussion on this. Any comments on the interviews?
The interviews were short and sweet. I wish they were a little bit longer so we could have heard a little bit more. I don't know. I'd like to hear what everybody else has to say.
Stuart, Debbie?
I don't know as I'm really ready to make a solid decision on this. It is, I know it's only for 8 months, but it's still, or for 10 months, but I think that it's an important decision.
So why don't we, instead of waiting why don't we discuss, like, what are you thinking about here? Why don't we have a discussion? And then maybe we could come to a decision tonight so that that person could start in March. Maybe we could talk through things together.
I have to think about things, and I'm not ready to make a comment on any of it. I just,
Not on any of it?
no.
Okay, so I'll make some comments then. I mean, if we look at Louis' resume, he's an extremely qualified individual. He has a lot to offer this town, a lot. And I think that he would be a very good candidate. He also, Sue sent us all forwarded us the letters of people recommending him. Rick, he did not get any letters, and his resume, I mean, he did send in a resume, which is nice. One thing that really is the clincher for me is during the interview, when Rick said he would do what was best for the town and not for the majority. When you are sitting on a board, you cannot just, what you think is best for the town is not your job. Your job, why are you looking like that? It's not your job on this board to say this is what's best for the town and this is what we're gonna do. It's up to our job to listen to the community and to make decisions. So for me, that was,
Wait, can you back up on that a minute? I'm not following you.
So, and when he was asked the last scenario.
Yeah.
How would you handle a difficult situation where two sides are adamant on what they believe, friends may be pressuring you, how would you vote? And he initially answered, vote with majority. Then he said, wait, I would do what was best for the town. And I had him clarify that.
Right. And I took it when he said that he would vote with the majority of what the people wanted. That's how I took it.
But then I asked him specifically.
Right, and then he
I
said what was best for the town, but
He said what was best for the town first. And then I asked him to clarify that. I said, wait a minute. so
no, he
would-
said majority first, I believe.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so he said, I would do what the majority wanted. And then he said, wait a minute, he sat back, he said, wait a minute, I would do what was best for the town. And that's when I said, so you would not do what the majority wanted? He said, no, I would do what was best for the town. That's what he said. So I mean.
I know, but like I said, I took it when he said that he would do with the majority, that it meant the majority of what the town wanted. That's how I took it.
But then I had him clarify it. You go back and watch the tape. That's
Well,
what
I know, but I'm just saying how I took it, that it was that way.
So, Sue, what way are you leaning here?
Like I said, I'm impressed with Mr. Main's resume. However, I'm a little disappointed that he's never been to a board meeting. And I'm also, even though he got letters and Ricky didn't, I don't think we could hold that against Ricky because we did not request letters.
That's right, we didn't request them, and they came.
That they did, but so I don't think that should be considered.
You don't think that should be considered?
No, I don't, because we didn't request that letters be sent on their behalf.
So when the people in the community find out who the candidates are, and they're the candidates that they would prefer in that position, and you receive letters, that doesn't mean anything to you?
But to be quite honest with you, I don't think that the town knew who the candidates were. Let's be fair about that.
Sure they did.
No, they did not.
Well,
I'm
not,
sure
not,
they got-
not everybody, you're right.
Well,
not everybody.
so
Only from
I
the-
think that is a problem. And so I think that the majority of the people in the town would not be in favor of Mr. Main
Why?
because they don't know him.
Okay.
And he's never attended a board meeting.
A lot of people have never attended, look, here's a lot of people have not attended the board meeting, and here's why I don't think that should be held against them. When people go through different points in their life, okay? And like when Louis said, he goes, why, it's time, I've been here for a long time, now it's time for me to give back. So people get busy with their lives, if they're working full time and they're doing different things, and everybody's not always able to come to a 7 o'clock meeting. I mean, you see what our attendance is like, but somebody's going to be elected on the board, even when, you know, there might be 5 different people who run in November. And there's going to have to be, because there's a lot of seats open. But a lot of those people are not going to have attended a board meeting, but it shouldn't be held against them. Because once you're ready to make that commitment, I mean, like myself, the only time I came to a board meeting prior to being on the board was when I had an issue with the town. I didn't just come and sit and participate every month. I was very, very busy. I had 4 kids at home. I was doing things. So when a person gets to the point in their life when they're ready to give back to the community, I mean, I would not hold that against them that they can come to a board meeting.
But anyway, back to, and when Louis said that, you know, he knows about land use and, you know, decision making, I think Rick has just as, maybe not as much, but I think he has the same skills as far as that, working the farm and everything. He knows about land use and stuff.
Well, he would not have the same skills.
I didn't say the same skills. I said almost the same skills.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
No, I'm just saying that.
I'm just saying that if you look at Louis' resume and what he's done, I think he's a very good candidate. He's very mild-tempered. I don't think we can say the same about Rick, that he would be mild-tempered.
I don't think that's appropriate.
Well, we can't go into executive session.
No, we
so
can't.
We have to sit here and talk about the candidates.
But I don't think it's fair that you say that Rick doesn't have the same temperament. We don't know, because we've never.
Because you don't know. Luke, you know.
Right, we've never seen how he is at a public meeting or, so that, I think that shouldn't be considered at all.
Yeah, I happen to know that. And I'm pretty sure that in a lot of these letters, or not a lot, because there's not a lot of letters, but it was referred to in there, his temperament and his fairness and things like that.
Gilbert, do you have anything to add?
Well, between the two of them, Rick has been in this community, and everybody does know. He has had a business on the farm, he's had the sawmill business, and he's done good on all of them. So, budget-wise, and using his head, he must be doing it right. And from what I see, I think he would be a better one. But I think we do need more time. This is the first time I see Louis Norton. I didn't know. Debbie had to tell me. And I just found out the other day about Rick. I didn't know. So.
Yeah, just Gilbert, just so you do know about Lou.
I know Louis, okay?
So, but you know that he's had a business.
I know
the
that.
entire time
That's
he was
right.
there.
He's got a surveying business. That's right.
Okay, and
I think Rick
he
has
does know
got
a lot of people.
a lot of employees to look over and a lot of other stuff. Where Louis got one.
But he has more than one. But that's regardless of the point, really. I just don't, I mean, they are very comparable in that sense. They have their own businesses. They've lived in the community their whole life. All of, you know, those things are similarities.
So what I'm hearing is you want to postpone the appointment until the March meeting, or you want to go longer?
I would like to go longer right now.
Longer than March?
March.
Oh, you want to hold it to appoint someone in March?
No.
You want to go longer, farther out than March?
I think we should at least table it until the March meeting and then
Yeah.
revisit. So I make a motion that we table this until the March meeting and think about our decision until March.
Debbie made a motion,
Second it.
Gilbert seconds, discussion. All in favor? Kelly's a no. I'm fine with postponing it.
I'm fine with postponing it, but I just wish we could have more of a discussion when we're here. You know, when we email back and forth, nobody ever emails all, so I don't hear from anybody over the entire month. It's all about communication, and we just don't have it.
Not everybody has email. So that makes it,
You have email?
I respond a lot.
I don't ever see a response.
I always respond to
Then
all.
you're only responding to Zoom.
No, I respond to all.
I am not getting it.
I'm very transparent.
Well, I sent everyone the message about Jen Hootware withdrawing,
Yeah, and I don't think I got it.
and you said you didn't get it, but I sent it to the whole board.
Yeah.
Gilbert, I know you didn't get it, and I apologize for that. I should have called you on.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get that. The
Hmm.
only reason I knew is because I contacted Jen.
I sent it?
And I can tell you it didn't come through on mine either.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I
So-
found out tonight when I walked in.
Okay, well, then I apologize, but I did
Yeah.
send it.
Oh, I don't disbelieve you. I mean, well, sometimes email just doesn't
Yeah.
get there, but
Okay, well, then I apologize for that,
no,
but
that's fine.
Can I just, you want me to wait, or can I chime in, or?
go ahead.
You bring up the aspect of letters of recommendation and that we didn't ask for them. Ask for them,
Oh, we can now.
but let's put it out there. If that's what you're making a decision on, have the public show some support for who they want. If this is something that's gonna play a role in this decision, who the people in the town want. And if we're saying that people don't know who the candidates are, give them a chance. Put it out there. We're looking for opinions from the public on the two candidates we've narrowed it down to for this position. If you would like to show support, please be at the March meeting or send a letter of recommendation to see what people want, see what people think. The problem we have, I think, is, both of these people, and I got nothing against either one. I don't really know the way, but I kind of know Rick a little bit from the meetings and stuff. But I think, especially, Deb and Gilbert, Ricky. So you have kind of I shouldn't say a skewed view, but you have a friendly opinion of him. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
So you're always going to favor somebody over someone you just met. So let's solicit some feedback from the community to try and get an unbiased opinion from the general public. I don't think there's anything preventing us from putting it out there saying,
No, although, and I mean, that's fine, but I also think that we need to be able to take a look at what we have in front of us as far as the resumes, the letters of interest, and what we just saw at the interview, because really this is an appointment.
sure, and I 100% agree with what you're saying, but I guess my point is, if we're gonna make a judgment, or in either side, and you're saying, Mr. Maine got more letters, and Deb's saying, but we didn't ask for them. Okay, well, let's ask for them and see what we get. That's just, and if people want to show support for a candidate, let's put it out there that we're gonna have a discussion, and the public can chime in at the March meeting.
but it should only be town of Hopkinton.
Sure, yes, I agree, yeah. Hopkinton residents, yes, absolutely, I agree, 100%. We don't need them all over the north end.
Be- Because those are the people that these candidates are going to represent. And if they were on the ballot, that would be the only
Yeah,
people.
that's 100% fair. I mean, I can tell you, I think on paper, Mr. Maine has a better resume. Absolutely. If I didn't know them both, that's a better resume. But
You're shaking your head.
I don't disagree with that,
Okay, then.
but
So-
I'm not ready to
Then
select a
that's fine.
candidate.
That's fine.
I mean,
It's just that you're-
He may have the better resume on paper, but that doesn't, and I mean, trust me, I'm not one way or another here, but I'm just saying, just because he's got the better resume doesn't mean he would be a better fit for the town. You know where I'm going with what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
anyone,
you can put anything on a resume.
anyone can,
Well,
Kelly.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Debbie, did you offer any questions to,
No, because I was satisfied with those questions.
but you didn't even see those questions until, when did you send them out? Yesterday?
This morning.
This morning.
Sue
It was
asked us for
fine.
questions last week. So what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. If, I feel like if you need more information, then we could always ask more questions. If you wanted to find out something that you don't know, we could always email Louis or Ricky, and we could ask them questions if you feel like you don't, if that
Absolutely.
wasn't enough.
I just do not like to make decisions quickly. I have to think about
That's
things.
fine.
So obviously it's not with you.
No, it is fine, but I'm just
So
getting at the
I
point
have
of-
said that I am not ready to make a decision
I heard you.
at this time.
And we took
And we
the
already voted on it.
voted, so let's
Thank you.
table it, postpone it until March.
I would say though, if anybody has other questions that they're going to ask, that everybody on the board, that we know.
And don't, forget, what you ask one candidate, we must ask the other candidate. We've got to ask them both the same. Okay, we'll move on. Committee report, supervisor update. I emailed our new senator the other day, Senator Steck, and asked him if he could attend our March meeting. He's going to attend it on Zoom, so I'll need the Zoom information to send to him. So I'm going to ask him to give us an update on, introduce himself, give us an update on what the Senate has been doing and how,
I'm sorry, say again who you, if I,
Senator Steck, S-T-E-C, he replaced Betty Little.
Okay.
So, I mean, he can't come in person, but. And then the other thing that we've asked Eric, I was gonna say Eric Church. Yeah, we've asked Eric Allen to get a pricing together for us on our own Zoom and monitor so we can mount that and, because I think we're gonna be doing Zoom for a while, so. that would be nice. And that's about it from me.
Nothing more on the grant.
No. Emailed Senator Steck again. We're still looking into getting it released, so.
Okay.
Hopefully pretty soon.
Put the equipment under the wrong place.
I what?
I put.
Oh, you put it under,
Code instead of assessor, just before you get to it. It goes down one.
we don't have a report from code.
No.
I know he's,
That there was nothing in January. Very quiet, January.
okay. Assessor. SLCAA will hold its February 11th, 2021 monthly training session virtually by Zoom connection. Let's continue the valuing of parcels for our assessment update. All inventory has been keyed on the computer and replicated to the RP office. The present equalization rate is 94%. That has tentatively changed to 96.39 for the upcoming year, but it may not increase to 100%. The rate increase is due to invalidating sales throughout the year. The land update has not taken effect as of yet, but we should know by the end of March what effect this will have on the rate. The roll book with the newest assessment changes has been sent to the RP office in Canton to key the new values. Hopefully this update will get us closer to 100% equalization. He will have to send out assessment change notices after the tentative roll book is finished. There will be 4 dates set aside for property owners to call and discuss the changes or send in the information to grieve their assessments. Grievance night will be held on June 1st this year. We will only accept applications to grieve their assessment by mail. Due to the COVID-19 epidemic, there will not be an open meeting. It will be held just like the 2020 VIR meeting. All grievances will be handled by the Board of Assessment Review and determinations will be sent back to the property owners. He's been installing the last of the completed inventory and new assessments on computer files and assessment roll along with address changes, building permit construction and property transfers. The balance of the permits will be checked starting in the early spring before the roll is sent to Canton for final reviewing and keying. He did not leave me anything on solar. We won't see him now for us to discuss until the March meeting, and that will be too late to put anything in, because we would have to make a decision on whether we were going to tax the solar panels. So it looks like we're gonna have to postpone that for another year. So. Unless we want to just make a decision ourselves and tell them this is what we're gonna do. I know we had discussed a flat fee, but I'm gonna leave it in there. So, I mean, because he would have had to have it, I believe he said in by the 1st of March,
Yes,
right? So
yeah.
we won't be able to do anything now.
You want to do a motion
Motion on,
on hold on, putting a hold on?
oh, putting a hold to postpone the,
Yeah, solar.
the solar.
It's a good idea.
I make a motion that we postpone it until another year, the assessment for solar.
Second, Gilbert seconds, all in favor?
I
Okay. Library,
She had no report.
No
I just hear today and she's nothing, everything's running.
museum,
Good as far as I know.
highway and safety. Plowed 22 out of the last 29 days, had new air compressor put on truck 7, moved snow with a loader, like Azonia, Nickelville, and town office. Nickelville.
Yeah, by the state parking lot.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Put new cross chain and sprockets in truck 7, installed a PTO clutch in truck 7. State CHIPS program has taken 5% from this year instead of the 20% they originally thought, which will leave the town with approximately $40,000 extra next year for road work. They also stated that next year the program would be fully funded. So that's a good thing. Town facilities, the water,
Water was fine in January,
All right.
no issues.
rescue, no report.
Can I just ask,
Yeah.
under the town facilities, can we add in the food pantry into there? And maybe, like even, maybe after I'm off the board, maybe there should always be somebody on the board, at least that somebody reports to from the food pantry.
Well, the food pantry really
I know
is
it's not.
under the town,
I know,
so
but Georgia used to come and give reports.
she did until they went under the church.
I thought they were under the church for a very long time.
No, they've only been under the church for maybe a couple of years.
Okay, but now we're actually using the facility.
I know, but I just hate to do that when it's not really a town.
Okay.
I don't think we should get involved with that.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
That's fine.
Debbie Gilbert?
I agree.
Okay.
That's a church issue, not a.
I don't think we want
We
to
got
get
enough layers.
involved in that. But I mean, you feel free under, at the end, privilege of the floor, you can give a report if you want. BHLS Health Center, Gilbert?
Okay, I had the meeting, I did it by phone, so, and we're gonna change the meeting from Tuesday to Wednesday to accommodate one other new girl, maybe. And that's about it. We paid the insurance, we got the same guy saying we're paid. So,
Any more on the survey? No?
nope, nobody's in a hurry to get out in the snow. There ain't much snow there, but
And what about Terry Truex? How's he?
well,
Heard
we're
anything?
keeping him right there for right now.
Still in the hospital?
No,
No, he ain't.
no, he's for his brother.
Oh, I thought he
His
was,
brother, no.
No.
oh, I heard he was in,
His lungs are so bad.
okay, because I had heard that he was in Syracuse Hospital.
Mm-mm. No.
Was
What rumors
it-
are? Okay.
He's got one problem.
So,
We'll see how it goes. We got Billy Wolf, so his Bill in this, so.
Okay.
That's the report.
Groundskeeper, Dave's doing a good job keeping everything shoveled out and
Right early in the morning.
Yep.
Might take good care around here and all the buildings.
yeah, he's doing a great job. So. New business, sent everyone a copy, or you got a copy in your, of the New York State Department of Transportation, the Emergency Shared Service Agreement. So I'm looking for a motion to allow us to pass this resolution. Shared Services Agreement between New York State Department of Transportation and the town of Hopkinton. This is something we do every, I guess we can do 2 or 4 years. I think the last time I did 2 years.
Is this for 2 or 4?
We can do either. You tell me what you want me to,
I would make the motion for 2 years.
2 years,
I second
all in favor?
it.
Okay, so I will sign that and get it to you and fill out whatever this is. Agreement to spend town highway funds. Steve completed this. He's looking to spend $104,440 for general repairs on 60.66 miles of town highways. So an agreement, we all have to sign this. Do you have the original? Probably just sign it.
Sign that one,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be fine. And then that's the one that, he'll fill the second portion out once he gets a little bit more idea of paving.
Of where he's gonna
Yeah.
go, yeah.
of
So I'll
paving
pass
costs.
this around so we can all sign it.
Yes.
So do we have to make a motion on this?
Yes.
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve the agreement to
Second.
spend town highway funds.
Okay, Debbie made a motion, Gilbert seconds, all in favor? Deb, can you sign this? That's me. And then next is the hold harmless resolution. This is something we pass with the county every year. So a motion to approve the hold harmless.
I'll make a motion.
Gilbert made a
Second.
motion, second. Oh, Deb did? Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then the next thing on the list is the highway superintendent. We got his resignation or his retirement letter. He'll be done March 14th. We can, so again, we can appoint someone for highway. I do have a couple options for us. We can appoint someone. We can have one of the highwaymen, the current deputy superintendent, take over. We've done that in the past when one of our other highway superintendents resigned. I did talk to Walt about it. He would be interested just on an interim basis. He doesn't want it full time, doesn't want to run for it. He would like, if he does it, he would like half the highway superintendent's salary on top of his. And I think that's what we did with
That's
When
what we
Jim
did
Hall-
before.
yeah, that's what I thought, so. Or we could find someone, I did give Dick an application today of someone that's interested in it. Now, the only issue we are facing is that if they intend to run for highway superintendent, which they'll have to do, they cannot start getting signatures on a petition until March 15th. Petitions have to be handed in by March 25th. So that doesn't give someone very long to go around and get the signatures.
They shouldn't need any signatures.
Right,
I haven't heard the number they should.
I haven't either,
Yeah,
but
I haven't looked into it, but
Can I just ask if,
Yeah.
if Walter takes the position?
Yep.
Who's gonna fill his position?
he would do both.
They do both and they do it. They just,
Yeah.
they do
He
the
would just-
book work
He
on
would
their
have
own
to, yeah,
time,
the book work would be,
on their own time.
But doesn't Steve drive the truck too?
Not very often.
he does when we get a big, like this last snowstorm he did, he plowed out like the parking lots and stuff. But we have that part-time man now to help.
So you think that's enough?
It's gonna have to be.
Yeah,
Well, it wouldn't necessarily have to be, right? Because
Well-
if we would, if we kept Steve or Walter in that position, and then another person was interested, then we'd have a full,
right,
a whole
yes.
highway department. So it is, we have options. The person who put in their letter of interest, are you able to tell us that yet, or is it still just an application he's filling out?
He's filled out the application and handed it in. He's currently not living here in town, but he's moving up by the end of February. He's, has his own construction business. I'm trying to think what he had on
I
his.
didn't look.
Yeah, he has his own construction business, so, and he's, made roads as part of his construction job that he has. Remodeling and that kind of stuff. So they're going to be living down on Circle Drive in Fort Jackson.
So if he's already put in his letter of interest,
Yeah.
can you tell the board who it is?
Henry Boardway.
Do you have any resume or anything you could give to us?
He does, but we really can't act on anything until after the 14th. I could, Dick, if you want, I guess you can send it up, yeah.
Yeah, I'll send out, I can
Can
send it
you
out.
say his last name again?
Boardway.
Boardway. Is he the only one that's put in a letter?
It's the only one that has submitted anything yet, but we haven't,
Hasn't been
right,
advertised.
we haven't put this out yet.
I don't think we should do anything until
It's
we are
official.
able.
Oh, well, I know, but this was just to bring up the fact that,
Yeah,
Right.
right.
but we do need to tell people, if we know of anyone that has an interest, if they want to get on the ballot, they got a week.
But you can't advertise.
No, but what I can do, I think we can advertise an anticipated retirement.
Oh, good.
So I'm gonna check with the Association of Towns to make sure I can do
I'll
that.
get that on the website.
Yeah.
That was when I was trying to-
Well, that would be great.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Because, you know, it's always so difficult when you have to wait till somebody leaves
Right.
the position.
so we can do that, and then, but we won't be able to discuss anything until the March
Mhm.
meeting.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and then we're heading into spring,
mhm.
so, you know, because that might make it a little easier to just think about.
But until, I mean, from now until March, we're okay, because Steve will be here, but
Right.
after March, we'll be, I mean, we can appoint, well,
Right, if he got appointed, do you have to go through that whole process at all? Do you have to still put it out to the public?
No.
So is that something we want to discuss tonight?
it's up to the board. We can, well, first of all, we need to accept Steve's resignation.
I'll make the motion to accept these
A
resignations.
second,
Second.
Gilbert, all in favor?
I
I'm gonna say no again.
It won't help.
I know, I tried already. Didn't help with Jody either. Okay, open the floor for discussion.
I think if we look at it in the light that spring will be coming soon after he leaves, it might be, because before all I kept thinking, oh my gosh, the snow's coming and, you know, one person down, that might be very difficult. But if Walter is willing to do it, and we've done it in the past and it's worked, you know, I don't know, what does everybody think? It's not a bad idea,
So
so you'd be
you're-
able to skip the process. of-
Right, and so you're thinking along the lines of appointing the deputy to fill in for the interim.
Yeah, I pretty much am for that, because we are almost at the end of winter, even though it doesn't look like it right now. But, you know, that's not many months to have to worry about it. And by that time, whoever is really interested in it is
That'll
gonna
be
be
fine.
campaigning to be like in that position. And I think I think we need to let those things fall into place.
Yeah, I
So if you
agree.
wanted to do that, then there's no sense of putting the announcement out.
Right.
Right. Right. And we will be able to announce after. I mean, it'll have to be announced anyway. Well, most people, if they know that Steve is retired.
It's well around
Yeah,
town.
word's getting out now, so.
Yeah, yeah.
The community knows.
So, I mean, also on the plus side of appointing, well, as interim, we're gonna save half the salary
Yes.
and the insurance.
Yeah.
So,
And then whatever training that person, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
that person would have to.
And so, okay then, so we'll discuss it in March after his official resignation. Or do we want to do it, do you want to go forward tonight?
Can we do it tonight?
I don't know.
Well, Gilbert has said how he feels about it.
I think Walt would be good to let it go there, and if you want to put it out, if we can put it out for next fall.
Yeah, I
Go.
don't want to, yeah, I'm gonna, we'll talk to the association of towns, how we can handle that. We can even mention that,
That there's,
I'll call the board.
that there's
I'll
gonna
call
be
the
an
board of
opening?
elections too. Yeah, well, that it will become available when it won't be available.
They should be able to have some lenience there, somebody,
Yeah,
you know, dropping it right there. To
they,
give them 7 days.
yeah,
to-
oh, I know, well,
It's
they
more
can't, no, that he said, they definitely cannot take petitions around until he has officially resigned.
Right, yeah.
And so, I mean, but I would suspect you can at least let the public know that they can, I'll have to check with the board on that. And the board, when I first called them and told them what was happening, they suggested that he make a decision either to do it at the beginning of the month or the end of the month.
And he picked the middle.
Well, but I mean, for him, I
well,
think
we
it'd be
decided we
such
weren't gonna ask him to
Yeah.
retire
a-
earlier.
but
No.
if he did it as of the first, then, you know, obviously the person would have the whole time, but if he held up at the end, the board would, I wasn't exactly sure from what they were saying, someone else gets basically appoint somebody.
If no one circulates a petition,
Yes.
okay, then the Democratic Committee and the Republican Committee can each appoint a person to put on the ballot. If no one,
Could look
if
bad.
no one turns in the petition to run, then it would be up to the
Yeah.
two committees in town to appoint a person to put on the ballot.
And you think they might need that just because of the time crunch?
Yes. I mean, but, I mean, like I said, I think, I can't remember how many signatures I needed last year, but
It's limited because they cut it back and because of the change and I
Yeah,
think probably still is. I mean, at maximum, it's like 15 or 16. I don't think it's that many.
So.
And if people still can run as an independent as well, because the independent is later, so you can
So
still
we
get on the
can,
ballot.
we can or we cannot make a motion to put Walter in as,
I think we can, because he won't be appointed until March 15th, but I think we need to have something so I can go to him and say,
Yeah.
yes, this is what we're going to do. So, and I know Steve is working with him
Yeah.
on the paperwork now.
Yes.
okay, so I would like to make the motion that we would accept Walter Parker in the interim before, I don't know how to actually word that. How would you like me to word that, Dick?
We're just going to appoint
We appoint him as the deputy
as interim
interim superintendent.
Okay,
until,
Upon Steve's
yeah,
retirement.
right.
right.
Through the end of 2021.
Okay. Kelly made the motion, second.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
I have something on this, that we got from New York State on a grant for culverts and bridges. I think that we need to, perhaps submit, for this grant for the road, for that bridge on
The Lake Road.
Lake Road. They are willing to, this grant would include, yeah, it's part of that.
oh, part of the
Yeah.
CHIPS funding.
Oh, yeah, it's part of the CHIPS funding, and the governor is releasing millions so that small communities can build bridges and culverts, and that is one that we really need to look into before it is redlining,
We got another one.
Jones,
also
like
needs
the
it.
Jones.
We brought that one up years ago now. There's no guardrails on it. And we have brought it up because it's in terrible shape. The abutments are gone, the corner's wrong, and there's no guardrails on it now, so the town's actually liable for an accident there.
I know another one is the one down on Converse Road.
Yeah,
Oh, that
but
one too, yeah.
Cobble Bridge is, Sturp, is it, or something?
Oh, that,
We brought that up a long time
Yeah, I
ago.
know.
We couldn't touch it
Yeah,
for some reason.
that's an accident.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the trees are missing there on the corner now a little bit.
and the house.
The house is missing out too.
Yeah, that too.
Shouldn't laugh about that, but I mean, I think that those are probably two bridges, but the
Yes.
one on Lake Azonia,
That gets a lot
that
more
gets a
traffic.
lot more traffic.
And the Darren's front has to go slow.
Yeah, so, and especially after,
Well,
especially after Seaway has been across that bridge so much this summer, but there's a lot of traffic on that road. And
if it does go, somebody has an accident or fire up there,
we're in trouble.
all the way around.
So I think we need to look into that grant. So I don't know if that's something that Steve has to work on, or
Well,
that's something
I would think
your grant writer.
he would be, could be, give us information to, I
Right.
will, yeah, I don't know how I missed that part. I'll go on and get additional information from this website and see what we need to do
Right.
and we'll get.
And we have until the 9th of June for bridges and
Yep.
the 19th for culverts, but I think that it's a Holden Bridge there or something, because
Okay, so you're making a motion for us to pursue that?
I make a motion that we pursue this grant.
All in favor?
I
Aye. Okay. Anything else? Jody, you want to open that up for privilege of the floor?
Hello,
Vicky.
hi. I just, a couple questions. On the solar, how are you going to legally give exemptions this next assessment roll when you have a local law on file that they can no longer be exempt?
And been filed for years.
I didn't, what?
She's talking about 47, how we are not going to be able to put the solar off for another year. And we've had that in place for years, so. I don't know how you want to answer that.
Would you restate your question, Vicki?
How are you legally going to exempt assessing solar this next year when you passed a local law that states that exemptions on solar and wind can no longer be given?
She doesn't say exemptions, right? We just haven't. She's asking how we're not going to be able to do that if we pass something saying that it can't be exempt. But I don't think it's actually worded that way.
I think
The local law states that you cannot give any pilots or exemptions on wind or solar, residential or commercial. And that's why this assessment came up of assessing all solar.
Right.
And by not putting an amount on solar on this tax roll, you are given an exemption.
I guess we'll have to ask our tax assessor that question.
Yep. I don't know. I reminded Alan that we needed an answer, but I don't know. I don't have an answer to that, Vicki.
Well, I guess you need to put a little more pressure on your assessor to get his job done because he legally needs to put an assessment on that solar. And I was also wondering on the highway superintendent position, his resignation's been turned in and it's been approved by the board. So it's actually, in fact, it's over. What about putting something on North Country Now that there will be a vacancy in that position, and anyone that wants to run for that position will have to have a petition in for the county to let people know. Nobody's gonna know that they can get a petition to run
Yeah,
for highway,
we're working on an announcement to go to North Country.
because that vacancy is formal now, because you accepted his resignation. He can't take it back.
What?
I was waiting for tonight
Yeah,
to do it.
yeah, we couldn't announce it until we accepted his resignation.
Right, But then you were saying, well, you didn't need to do anything, and I just think that we need to get it out there in the public. so
Well, no,
every-
no, we just said that we didn't need to, put out a notice to, for the interim for the rest of the year.
Oh, right, for that.
Yeah, but yeah, we are gonna put something in the paper saying that we're going to have 3 council vacancies and the highway superintendent.
Okay, and that people have to have a petition in by whatever the date is.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's, I was just confused on that you weren't gonna say anything, and I'm thinking, how are people gonna know?
Yeah,
No,
we got it.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thanks for keeping us in line though.
Oh, yeah, always.
Any other questions?
Nope, that's it.
No other privilege of the floor?
I didn't.
Oh, sorry.
I do because I was holding off the food pantry. So I'm just, now I'll just speak as like privilege of the floor. The food pantry, we have had very slow 2 months with the Hopkinton residents. We've had approximately 12 boxes that we have given to people each time. We continue to get extremely generous donations. So we have a lot of money, a lot of food. The Teachers Association from Harrisville Hopkinton has just given us a donation for $925. So starting this, we have our pantry this Friday. It is open to Parishville residents as well. So I expect that it's going to start to pick up and we'll be able to give to more people, but we do have plenty of food to give away. So
Why do you think it's slower now than it was?
I think that perhaps it was, the numbers were inflated because if you look at the number of people that you're serving compared to the number of families that are coming, it's extremely different. So if you have a family coming in and they have 10 in their family and you're adding up those numbers, 10, 7, 5, you're ending up with this large amount. Like when I first started, I was expecting like 50 cars. We were ready with 50 boxes. We were ready. And it just hasn't turned out that way. And I think that's why.
So let me ask you a question. If someone shows up with a family of 10, do they just get the same items?
Our boxes are really very generous.
Okay.
So on our, we've only done it 2 months. So the first month we made a small box and a large box. So if you were a family of 2 to 4, you got the small box. If you had a family larger than 4, you got a big box. But because of the slower than expected, and we have plenty of food. We have meat, we have milk, we have everything. And so we have made up very nice, big, generous boxes, and everybody gets the same thing.
Okay. Is the freezer working out in the basement?
Freezer is amazing.
Okay.
It's perfect.
It's in the right spot now?
It is right there, and it's wonderful because we're able to get meat from this agency called JCEO. They give us meat, so I mean the meat comes to us frozen, so we can just put it right in the freezer and
then just take it that morning.
Yeah.
Good.
Something that I've noticed is that it's not advertised as much as it was before. I haven't seen it advertised.
I've seen it in the North
It's
Country
been
now.
in the North Country, it's been on the Free Trader, and I have a Facebook page, and the Facebook page keeps getting, like, every month there's more and more and more, and more shares, so, I think.
Because we were shut down for a while, I
Me
think it's
too.
gonna
Yeah.
take a while to build it back up.
Yeah.
Between the epidemic, and I know that I haven't noticed as many Amish coming, and they were, and they're not. I mean, I see who comes because when I go by,
Have you disseminated that information to the Amish specifically? Because they're not gonna get the paper or see the Facebook group.
Well, they actually do read the paper, those papers. But the Amish actually are not supposed to come to food pantries.
Oh, really?
I have found this out by talking to my Amish friends, and they are not, they can't come in and accept food.
Really?
If you offer them food, they can take it. So that is the, but I asked specifically, I asked my friend specifically, I said, are there any Amish families who are in need? And he said, I can't think of one. He said, we all, put up enough food for, and we help each other. Because I said, because we could take the food to them. Because people had said it to me prior, there used to be so many Amish that come. So I asked specifically, and that was the answer that I got. So I'm not going to pursue.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Amish, I never received anything
Oh, I'm
back.
glad it came up. Okay, so we are going to get something.
Oh, okay.
So
That was only like a year ago.
Daniel is who you sent the
Yes.
letter to.
Daniel
Daniel is not the right person.
Oh, okay.
So Daniel has been talking to Mose. Mose is the one for Parrishville, Hopkinton, in this area.
Okay.
So I don't know how that confusion came up. So anyway, you should be receiving a letter soon.
Okay.
It is gonna, just as sort of like a heads up, they're sort of on the defense a little bit. And so hopefully, if we do end up having a meeting with them, we can, put that aside.
Yeah.
Crump, Jeff, Greg.
I know, I mentioned about the, I don't know why.
Who, what?
Greg is on the highway, Jeff is the one that.
Greg had mentioned to us about that clear tape. And I've been meaning to get a hold of him. Remember
About what?
He might have just talked to me about it. The fire department has clear reflective tape that they use.
Oh, okay.
It's highly reflective and it's clear. So I've been meaning to get a hold of him just to give me a little sliver of it so that I can take it to them prior to us meeting, just as something for them to think about.
I can send them a
Yeah,
text
if you don't mind,
Nope,
and I can come and pick it up and take it over. But yeah, so that should be happening at some point soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Glad to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I'm actually tired. I still haven't heard from them,
Yeah.
so. Anything else? What? No.
I mean, I hadn't really thought about it till now, but just kind of piggybacking on what Vicky said, if it really is required by law that you have to put an assessment on these solar things and you don't have another meeting before the next meeting when this has to be done, is it worth passing a provisional assessment, even if it's $1, so that you're within the confines of the law?
I don't know, has everybody had enough time to think about it? Because I personally liked the, anything over the 5 kilowatts, an assessment of, what was it, $1,000?
I forwarded Ellen all the stuff I had. I didn't hear anything back, but there was a few different scenarios. A lot of the stuff I had was for stuff that's a lot bigger, a lot more prevalent, but some of them just have a flat rate.
Yeah.
If you have a system, it's this. If it's over this size, it's this.
Right.
Some of them just have there's only an assessment if it's over a certain size.
Right. That's the one I like. I like the one, anything over a certain amount, that we have like that set dollar amount. I think that's fair, and if somebody came in and put in, like 12-acre solar farms, and they would just go by the same as what we had.
I think in lieu of being out of compliance with the law that was passed, maybe set something that's nominal, The assessment is $1,000 if you're over, I can't remember what the number was on the stuff I saw, but, pick a size, set it, it's $1,000 over that amount. We were essentially gonna push it off for a year. So if we make something, I shouldn't say it's not me anymore. If you make something that's, at least compliant with the law, then you can revisit it anytime. Just a thought. I hadn't really thought about it, but
Yeah, it's a good point, Jody.
because you're not gonna have another meeting, and if this really is gonna be an issue,
Is it gonna be an issue though? Because it's really, I don't know, I don't wanna say that, I think that's.
Jody, am I still unmuted?
You are,
Can I just ask a question? How legally can you not assess anything like even below a certain amount?
I'm just going by some of the research I did in some of the other
Well-
places.
But we don't know that maybe those other places allow for, what do I want to say, like pilots or things like that. Maybe they did not pass the law that
You're right,
said.
I don't have any additional information beyond just some of the scenario, some of the formulas that were provided to me.
Right. What if I don't have solar, but if I had solar, I got assessed, and because my neighbor had a smaller solar and they didn't get assessed, how is that fair? Because the law allows for no exemptions.
I mean, I guess the point at this point is we were gonna kick it down the road to next year. You were gonna kick it down the road to next year. So set a nominal value. I don't know, maybe if you have a solar farm, it's assessed at $250, or even if you have a solar system.
I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can do that, because then if a solar farm comes in and then we don't have something legitimate in place. I don't think we can like lowball it like that. I think I have to have something. And I mean, I don't understand why our tax assessor isn't here, or why we don't have, any input from him on this. I mean, Jody took some initiative and sent him some things, and we still haven't heard back. And now his time is up. So I don't know. Maybe you'll have to check with the town associations and see where that leaves us.
We could schedule a special meeting
I know,
before
but
that, tell Alan we need an answer, we need to get this decided before March 1st. And then go from there, and I'll check with the association of towns to see if, because we opted out, if that's going to be an issue.
yeah. Because if we can put it off, I think that we should put it off, because I don't feel that we are informed.
No, but we've been discussing this for how long?
Well, we've been tabling it for how long?
Right, that's what I mean.
So,
there's
a big difference.
we can't keep putting things off, we've gotta,
We have to make a decision. And how is our law affected by the new resolutions that New York State has put through on solar? It affects all of that.
Yeah, it's separate though. It's two different things as far as I know.
Solar law, solar law.
I mean, the resolution that was passed was pretty much extending what was already in place. Like we are already in this situation.
That is correct.
So I think maybe get an opinion from the Association of Towns or from our lawyer or something, just say, can we just extend this as we have been, or do we have to do this?
okay,
And-
so
If we have to have a.
and if we have to have a special meeting, we'll schedule a special meeting and make sure. the
And if
assessor-
that's the case, I can come and I'll bring you all the stuff I have. And
But
Well,
also,
if you give it to Alan,
if we're gonna have.
I'm
a
just
special-
saying, if that's what it comes down to, then
Yeah, if we are gonna have a special, if that's what it comes down to, the association of towns tells us that, no, we have to have something in place. Then Alan, I think, needs to be responsible and send each one of us something to review and look at before we sit down at a meeting. These are the three options that I have come up with, right? Not the night of the meeting where we're all like, oh,
Right.
what, no,
It's overwhelming
it is.
because you don't have a chance to review it.
Yes.
and I'll be honest, some of the stuff I was looking at, I didn't totally understand all of it. I mean, I reached out for information and I don't,
I think that's where all this, because nobody really knows. And
Right.
that's why it keeps getting put off and put off, because it's like, well, some towns just don't do anything. They don't, right? So.
I think you
but since it
go
was
back.
brought up, and we have been discussing it, I think we need to.
Absolutely.
It's okay, I will email the Association of Towns get an answer and we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds good.
And one other thing, Debbie, I have started to check into other attorneys,
Thank you.
but
Yeah, I know.
I haven't heard back from,
Right, that's
and
fine.
so
Oh,
we'll see what
It's a
comes
work
up.
in progress.
Yep, so. Anything else?
Does that
I think
answer your question, Vicky? Or no?
Yeah, but I think you should review your local law. And I mean, it took effective upon filing. So see what your local law says. It was pretty straightforward. So
It's the same one that's been in effect for what, 10 plus years,
Yes.
right?
no, you just passed it.
No, that's just, it's the same law.
No, you had to pass a law opting out of giving
Yes,
exempt.
Vicky, I know, yes.
You just
We're
did it.
talking about the same thing,
You just did it last year.
correct.
That is the law we're talking about.
Exactly.
already opted out of
Exactly, yes,
Right.
Now,
We just put in there that
correct.
it was for wind and solar. Because it didn't specify solar originally. And we found out, and we needed to file it with another office, so, yes.
Yeah.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
Kelly made a motion, second. Gilbert seconds, all in favor? Aye. Okay, I'll be back to you.